Human technician man rescued a trap dragon. Then the pack died beginning. The storm and the signal. The storms of Rygath, 9 were legendary. They roared with blue lightning and shards of metallic dust that could slice through hull plating. Humans weren't supposed to be there. Not anymore. The mining colony had been abandoned 50 years ago, after the ore veins ran dry and the atmosphere turned lethal. But engineer Kalen Dross wasn't there for mining. He was there for repair work. Or that's what the official assignment said. He was a technician with the Frontier Restoration Corps, tasked with restoring old relay stations that dotted the planet's equatorial belt. The Corps didn't ask questions. They just handed out coordinates and a paycheck. Kalen's shuttle, Merolite, cut through the cyan fog, its surface sizzling with ion residue. The automated voice in his earpiece buzzed. Warning. Magnetic surge detected. Surface traversal unsafe. He ignored it. That warning had blared every 10 minutes since he'd landed. Rygatha's magnetic fields were chaotic, but Kalen had work to do. As he trudged through the ash dunes toward Relay 47B, something odd caught his scanner. It was faint, an organic life signal, large and deep underground. That can't be right, he muttered, adjusting his helmet. No life survives here. He almost ignored it, but the signal pulsed again, weak but desperate. His technician's instincts kicked in. Broken things bothered him. Machines, systems, even lost signals. So he followed it. Discovery. The buried chamber. The life form was beneath a collapsed transport hangar. The once grand structure was now a mountain of twisted steel, glass, and molten sand. Kalen used his plasma cutter to carve through the wreckage, coughing as metallic dust fogged his visor. Then he saw it. A massive creature, white as frost and faintly glowing, was pinned beneath a pile of girders. Its wings shimmered like crystal, and its scales reflected faint ultraviolet light. A dragon. No, something like a dragon. Its body had mechanical seams along the ribs, as if someone had built armor right into its skeleton. The creature's eyes flickered open, silver orbs filled with both terror and defiance. Kalen froze. Every childhood myth, every alien war story about the Rygath dragons came flooding back. These beings were supposed to have gone extinct centuries ago after the Great Culling. Easy, he said quietly, raising his palms. I'm not here to hurt you. The dragon's breathing was ragged, mechanical fluid leaking from its side. Leave. It hissed, voice like static over a broken radio. Kalen ignored the warning and moved closer. You'll die if I leave you like this. He activated his exosuit hydraulics and started lifting the debris piece by piece. The dragon struggled weakly, but exhaustion won. After nearly an hour of work, Kalen managed to free its torso and one wing. He crouched by the wound, scanning it with his portable repair module. Synthetic tissue, fused with organics, he murmured. Someone engineered you. The dragon's gaze softened slightly. Human mechanic, it rasped. Why help? Kalen's voice was gentle. Because I fix things that are broken. That's what I do. Middle, the bond and the pack. Kalen set up camp inside the collapsed hangar. The dragon, who introduced herself later as Valith, was too weak to fly. Her energy reserves were depleted, her biometal tissue damaged from the magnetic storms. Over the next few days, Kalen repaired her plating, patched leaks in her circulatory tubes, and adjusted the nanofiber mesh that linked her wings to her spine. He used his last reserves of biogel and improvised tools from his suit. Valith watched him with cautious curiosity. You speak to me as though I were a machine, she said one night, her voice clearer now. Kalen smiled faintly while soldering a wing joint. Half of you is machine. The other half bleeds. Makes my job harder. Machines obey. Flesh questions, she replied. Which am I? Both, he said softly. That's what makes you worth saving. On the 5th day, Valith finally stood, her wings unfolded, massive crystalline, glimmering even in the storm's gloom. But before they could leave, Kalen's sensors picked up something ominous. Movement. Several life signals closing in fast. Multiple entities incoming. Quadruped structure. Large. Valith's eyes widened. The pack. They come for me. Your kind. She shook her head. No, the feral ones. We were made in packs, engineered to serve the Dominion's war machines. When the Dominion fell, the packs turned wild. They hunt anything not of their code. The ground trembled as shapes emerged through the fog. 6 enormous beasts, each like a twisted version of Valith. Dark scales, red optics, dripping with plasma heat. Kalen cursed. We need to run. Valith flared her wings, blocking the path. No, if we flee, they follow forever. They sense weakness. They must be stopped here. You're still injured. Then they die with me. The battle, the technician, and the dragon. Kalen had no weapons, but he had machines and a knack for improvisation. He scrambled back to his toolkit, pulling out a power coil, a plasma arc igniter, and an old generator core from a hangar. Valith, he shouted. Can you channel electrical charge? Yes. Good. You're about to. He jury-rigged the generator into an unstable capacitor, creating a defensive grid. As the pack closed in, their glowing eyes fixed on Valeth, Kalen slammed his glove on the control node. Blue arcs danced through the air, crackling with lethal power. The first beast lunged and met Valeth's claws midair. The impact sent a shockwave through the rubble. Kalen ducked as shards flew past. Valeth roared, her voice like thunder wrapped in flame. The beasts coordinated, circling. Their synthetic jaws snapped, their movements eerily synchronized. Kalen saw their pattern. Pack behavior, algorithmic, predictable. He used his HUD to map trajectories. Valeth, left flank, 2 incoming. The third's going for your tail. She obeyed without question, pivoting and unleashing a wave of plasma breath that turned one into molten scrap. But another pounced from behind, pinning her down. Kalen charged forward with nothing but a plasma cutter. He leapt onto the beast's back, slicing through the hydraulic cables at its neck. Sparks exploded. The creature convulsed and collapsed. Valeth glanced at him, astonished. You fight like a mechanic possessed. Fixing problems, he grunted, slicing through another. But the remaining 3 were adapting. They started flanking both sides, their processors learning from every move. Kalen's generator began to overheat. He had seconds before it blew. He looked at Valeth. Can you channel all that energy at once? She nodded grimly. Yes, but it will burn me inside. Do it. She hesitated. Why would you? Because I can rebuild metal. I can't rebuild you. Valeth's gaze locked with his. Then she roared and absorbed the generator's full discharge. Her body blazed with blue fire. The storm's magnetic field bent around her as she rose, wings stretching to their full span. She became a storm herself. When she exhaled, a wave of energy swept outward, incinerating the last of the feral pack. The air smelled of ozone and melted circuitry. Then she fell, collapsing beside Kalen, smoke rising from her scales. He caught her head in his lap, his hands trembling. Hey, stay with me. Her breathing was faint, mechanical words slowing. The pack dead. Yeah, he whispered. All gone. Her lips curved faintly. Then my code is free. And she went still. Aftermath. The repair beyond life. Kalen refused to let her die. He worked for hours, days, refusing sleep. He scavenged parts in the destroyed pack, merging them with Valeth's body. He replaced scorched conduits, infused her cells with regenerative nanites, rewrote her failing code line by line. He spoke to her constantly, even when she didn't respond. You said machines obey flesh questions, he murmured while tightening a fiber link. So question this, Valeth. Why would a human fix what everyone else gave up on? By the third night, lightning illuminated the hangar's skeletal roof. He had fused her core with his own suit's power source, essentially giving her his life support energy. His suit began to fail, oxygen dipping low. But then, her eyes flickered open. Kalen, he laughed weakly, half delirious. Took you long enough. You gave me your core. That will kill you, he shrugged. Technicians don't live long on dead worlds anyway. Her gaze softened with something almost human. I will not let that happen. She rose shakily and pressed her chest to his suit, channeling back part of the energy. Her system stabilized, and so did his. The storm outside finally broke. For the first time in years, sunlight pierced Rygath skies, ending the flight and the legacy. Weeks later, the Frontier Corps sent a retrieval signal. They thought Kalen was dead. His transmission log stopped transmitting after the storm. But when the rescue ship descended, they found something they didn't expect. A massive white dragon perched atop the hangar ruins, and a human sitting calmly beside her, adjusting a communications relay. Captain Rhodes stared in disbelief through the viewport. What in the name of soul is that? Kalen's voice came through the comm. This is Technician Kalen Dross, Relay 47B. Repairs complete. Also, I found something worth keeping. Valeth spread her wings as the rescue ship approached, casting a brilliant reflection across the cracked desert. Rhodes muttered, You tamed it? Kalen smiled faintly. She's not a pet. She's a partner. They left Rygath 9 together. The Corps tried to quarantine Valeth, but she refused confinement, and Kalen refused to let her be treated as property. Together, they escaped a research vessel mid-transit, vanishing into uncharted space. Over time, rumors spread across the colonies. A human man and a white dragon traveling from system to system, repairing derelict stations, saving stranded miners, defending colonies from pirate raids. They became myths. Some called them the Mechanic and the Stormwing. Others called them ghosts from the old Dominion's ashes. But one story endured, the one about a technician who found a dying dragon and chose compassion over fear. Epilogue, the last message. Years later, a distress beacon pulsed through the void from an asteroid colony on the rim of the Perseus Arm. A holographic transmission accompanied it. It showed Kalen, Older now, hair streaked with silver, his exosuit patched 100 times over. Behind him, Valeth loomed proudly, wings folded, her eyes soft and bright. "If you're receiving this," Kalen said, "we're still out here, fixing what's broken, mending machines, worlds, and sometimes hearts. Tell the core they were wrong about Rygath. Life can grow from ashes, if you give a reason." He smiled at Valeth. She lowered her head, nuzzling him gently. "And tell them," he added, "that the pack didn't die in vain. They gave me the parts to save her. Even monsters can leave something good behind." The signal ended with a flash of light, a dragon taking flight beside a tiny human ship, both vanishing into the stars.